Hey,
How are you guys doing?
we're early. We're like 4
What's
minutes early.
up? Hey, Ray. Hey, Kelly.
We started early to chit chat.
Hey, Zool.
Hey, Zool.
We figured we'd chit chat for a second while people jumped in.
Yeah.
I have a couple pictures that I need to upload really fast. You know.
Yeah. We're
There's
doing
that
stuff.
stuff.
We're talking. We're moving. I inhaled a stout
It was
just
skill.
a minute ago. I got a new beer from Firestone Brewing Company, which is near the Bay Area here. And I have a habit of, like you do with wine, I have it in my hair still, if you can see it, where I spit it out or sneeze it out everywhere. And I smell it, and all of a sudden it just bubbled up a little bit. I was like, right in my fucking nose. And Liz is going, what's wrong with your, what's wrong? I was like, I just inhaled a stout everywhere. Now all I'm smelling is a chocolate cherry stout from
Yummy.
Firestone Brewing Company. Yep.
Hey, Tom. What's up?
Tim! What's good, Tim? What is that?
What's up?
Yes! Who's
Kelly.
Kelly! What's going on?
All right. So, oh, geez, let's fix this.
It's been a minute since we've actually did this.
By the way, for the horde!
We're for the whole!
No. Well, I mean, it is red and...
Yeah.
Anyway. So is my hair right now.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Oh, we dropped 2.
Oh, no. You guys like the Apple White?
What the heck?
Apple White Christmas bunny?
All right. So tonight, we are talking...
Ted Bundy.
Oh, I miss Bunnicula. My aunt had a big-ass bunny named Bunnicula.
Mm-hmm.
He passed.
That sucks.
He was like 16 or something.
Oh, that's right. That
big-ass bunny
I forgot about that.
named Bunnicula.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
So we're talking Ted Bundy tonight.
I can't read past things. Why is it doing that?
It's doing the
I'm going to do this.
overlay thing.
The laptop is up and running for the...
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tom earlier we were texting back and forth. He's all, my laptop broke. And I was like, oh, shit.
What's up?
I was like, I don't have time to send you my laptop to help you out. So we're gonna work around this with your phone.
Alrighty. So, had to put in a new hard drive. Oops.
Ooh. In a lap? Damn, that's like
That's
surgery.
some skill. Son of Tom.
Like, son of Tom.
This is Tom's son.
Rough week, headaches.
So I see Bunnicula was my favorite book. I know, I love that.
Yeah.
A dying Xbox One and headaches. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Those are
I'm
both
sorry.
bad.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a joke about them being equally bad, but that's in poor taste. I'm sorry. So
My boy has skills, man.
I can
Yes. Well, I mean, I can work on a PC easy because it's tons of room.
Hi, Mikey.
But a laptop, there's too much. It's like removing a subframe from a fucking car. That's some skill.
So, as you guys know, Roots Bleed Red took a small break, and now we are here on Fridays.
Yep.
All
On
others
Fridays.
can suck it.
Yeah. Hello, you fucking beautiful and awesome folks. Yes.
What's up?
Mikey's got a cool show coming up on Monday.
And I secured my laptop tape.
You nail it to
Dink.
the floor.
Until you headbutt it again. Got a good 5.5 years. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Has it really been out that long?
My PS4 is still running.
Oh, but the Xbox One, I feel like it hasn't even been out that long.
I bought mine in 2014.
An Xbox One?
No, I'm sorry. I bought my PS4 in.
We're talking about Xbox One.
No, I'm just saying they do. The original ones do last.
True.
They actually built
Yeah.
the Xbox One and the PS4 properly. So
I was trying to fix my eyebrow.
I'm from Hive.
For Hive, huh?
Oh, I'm for Hive. I my ADD kicked in right there, or whatever, and I read it completely
Dyslexia?
backwards. Dyslexia. Yep.
Screwed brackets under it. So now when you headbutt it, everything goes down.
Screwed brackets and drywall spikes.
All right, so let's get this shit
I want
started.
to share out fast. Where's my phone?
Oh yeah, please guys share out. I guess I should do this real fast.
We got to do the warning. We're going to say fuck a lot.
Warning! The following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this video / podcast is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. PS4 has cobwebs. You have a working iPhone 3. How the fuck is that even working?
That shouldn't be working right now. All the updates. I probably
Fuck.
motherfuck.
Motherfuck, noise. Smoking weed, doing coke, drinking beers. Rolling fatty, smoking blunts. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Anyway, see what happens? ADD. All right, so Ted Bundy was born Theodore Robert Cowell. Thank you, Carl.
Hey.
It's a beast. I can't believe you have an iPhone 3 that's working. I'm not going to lie. I hate those calls. Ted Bundy was born Theodore Robert Cowell on November 24th, 1946 to Eleanor Louise Cowell.
He was born the same year as my dad.
46? Your dad was born in 44.
Oh, yeah. He's born the same year as my mom.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was like, I only remember your dad was born in 44 because my grandma was born the same year.
Oh, okay.
And like my grandma was only born like 3 days before him.
Oh.
So try something. Yeah, no. Already done that one too. Way ahead of you there, Carl. I'll give you some tips later.
2009 MacBook.
Yeah.
Your 2009 paperweight, you mean?
No, they still work, which is crazy. I don't know how.
I was never a fan of that.
They cannot be upgraded to like Big Sur or anything like that.
Well,
but
no, it doesn't even have the RAM to run it.
no, but they're on like half the time people are on like El Capitan. But anyway, I can't talk about this.
B-U-N-D-Y, B-U. I love that freaking Macabre song.
Macabre.
Like, I don't know. I keep listening to it every day.
This is
and
supposed
that
to be a
Joe Ball
one-parter.
song. Yeah, that's what she said. Hi.
Amy! What's up?
Who's Amy again?
One of my friends.
Oh, what's going on? What's going on?
I love you. I miss you.
Stay and have some fun. We're going to be talking about some true crime.
Bundy. So, all right. So he was born to Eleanor Louise Cowell, also known as Louise, who, by the way, died in 2012. At the Elizabeth Lund Home for Unwed Mothers in Burlington, Vermont. His father's identity was never confirmed. His birth certificate is said to assign paternity to a salesman and Air Force veteran named Lloyd Marshall, though other accounts state that his father was listed as unknown. Louise claimed she had been seduced by an old money war veteran named Jack Worthington.
Yes, Jack Worthington.
And the King County Sheriff's Office has him listed as the father in their files. Some family members have expressed suspicions that Bundy might have been fathered by Louise's own violent, abusive father, Sam Cowell. But no material evidence has ever been cited to support this. Hi, Calvin.
I'm trying to remember where Bundy was from.
Vermont. Originally.
Yep. He was a traveling man. We're going to find this out. He traveled all over the place. Did some stuff.
Did some things.
Had a night at a sorority, too. Not the one kind of night. Well, some people don't want to have. I don't know.
Yeps.
Have you heard
about H.H. Holmes?
Them Dry Bones? Oh, no. I haven't heard that one.
I have.
I only got into Macabre about, I'd say last year sometime. And the first time I heard them was their Dahmer themed album. and it was okay. And then but then I heard some more stuff from them. I was like, okay, they're pretty good.
So Carl's comment here. So incestuous rape. Yeah, that's let's start out fucked up and get worse from there.
Well, yeah, it's Ted Bundy,
A possible incestuous rape, by the way, not confirmed.
Yeah.
For the first 3 years of his life, Bundy lived in Philadelphia, in the Philadelphia home of his maternal grandparents, Samuel and Eleanor Cowell, who raised them as their own son to avoid the social stigma that accompanied birth outside of wedlock. Family, friends, and even young Ted were told that his grandparents were his parents and that his mother was his older sister. He eventually discovered the truth, although he had varied recollections of the circumstances. He told a girlfriend that a cousin showed him a copy of his birth certificate after calling him a bastard.
Oh.
But he told biographers Stephen Mitchard and Hugh Ainsworth that he found the certificate himself. Biographer and true crime writer Ann Rule, who knew Bundy personally, believed that he did not find out until 1969.
That was a good year.
That's the year my mom was born.
Oh. I was thinking of
I know.
Ministry song.
When he...
Psalm 69.
That's okay. My brain
Preacher
went
with
somewhere
cock in
else.
his head. He wants you to suck in the Holy Ghost and all the sins of man.
Hey, ADD, Jesus.
Sorry.
You're making me lose my spot.
But it's ministry. Alien Jurgensen.
Yeah. And even, let's see here. When he located his original birth record in Vermont was in 1969. Bundy expressed a lifelong resentment towards his mother for never talking to him about his real father.
Carol Miles is here. Hey, Carol.
Hey, Carol. Thank you.
You're fucking awesome. I think Natalie. I think Natalie's here too.
What's up? Hey, Natalie. And for so he had a resentment towards his mother for never talking to him about his real father and for leaving him to discover his true parentage for himself. But you got to keep in mind, at the time, we're going to get to that, Mikey. You need to keep in mind that at the time, there was a huge stigma on unwed mothers.
Like stigmata? Like their hands would bleed, and then they would get the final stigmata, the spear, which not like the Goldberg spear in WCW, but it
we're
was
never
like,
getting through this.
No. No,
Please
we're not.
Stop. For the love of God, stop. Fucking hell.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's go.
And for the record, this is what it looks like.
What?
People in California with all the COVID restrictions going crazy.
Yeah, I got a giant gray streak in my beard now.
Oh no, I meant you interrupting me.
I can't help that I'm a silver fox and everyone wants to see me.
Totally. Okay, just because you can't see yourself on here doesn't mean that
I know
they
they
can't
can see me. I'm making faces behind the thing I can't see because you have the thing up right there. I'm all.
Anyway, in some interviews, Bundy spoke warmly of his grandparents and told Rule that he identified with them with respect and clung to his grandfather. In 1987, however, he and other family members told attorneys that Samuel Cowell was a tyrannical bully and a bigot who hated blacks, Italians, Catholics, and Jews. He beat his wife and the family dog and swung neighborhood cats by their tails.
Oh, not the family dog. I'd murder a fucking person if they touch my dog. Hi, John.
Hey, John. Hello.
We'll get some people in here tonight.
Yeah, I get that, Ray.
Friday night was a great idea.
Oh, yeah. So, Samuel once threw Louisa's younger sister and Ted's aunt, or as Frank likes to say, aunt.
His aunt.
Down
down a flight of stairs. This poor dear aunt. I'm so
threw her
sorry.
down a flight of stairs for oversleeping.
Well, fuck, you gotta get up and work.
He sometimes spoke aloud to unseen presences and at least once flew into a violent rage when the question of Bundy's paternity was raised. So that kind of leads more into...
He was my fucking son.
It might have been
Yeah.
for real.
Hi, Chris!
Exactly. How dare a motherfucker hurt a cat?
I would fucking murder people if they touched my animals. Or
We
anybody's
almost had
animals.
a situation the other day.
Oh, I would fucking give them the Goldberg fucking spear.
Did I tell you?
Yeah, you told me.
Oh my god. There were cats inside the engine. And we happened to notice it and get them out of there. It bit his sister. One of them did. Yeah, he threw her down a flight of stairs simply for oversleeping.
Continue, I'm listening.
Yes. So it's from my page. I want to show you guys a picture of Ted Bundy in high school. Look at that unibrow.
Yeah.
All these little girlies out there going, but he was so hot.
Well, a lot of fucking chicks have these weird
obsessions with serial killers.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like we talk about them all the time, right? But at the same time, it's like, dude, these guys will fucking murder you. Is that what your ultimate goal is here? Is to be freaking strangled and murdered?
Carl just made me laugh. The unseen presence.
Where?
Right here under upload.
I know Frank doesn't like politics in the channels.
What's his name, Joe?
we don't get on politics in Psycho Bunny.
But
our private channels are different.
Our private pages will get into politics all day long.
Yeah.
Well, now you show me that picture. Toss the dip. Thank you, Christopher. Yes, I will agree with that. You could have hosted Twilight Zone.
Imagine a world.
So, in 1950, Louise changed her surname from Cowell to Nelson. And at the urging of multiple family members, she left Philadelphia with her son to live with cousins, Alan and Jane Scott, in Tacoma, Washington. In 1951, it's Washington.
Whatever. There's some rednecks in Washington.
A lot of girls think they want a bad boy, but then they find out that it's not a Hollywood bad boy, but someone who's going to beat them up and rape them because a lot of girls are fucking stupid.
Even like the best part is like the ones that Ted Bundy and like Richard Ramirez had while in prison, like, and they're like, oh, they're so nice and all this other stuff. I was like, yeah, because they're hiding behind fucking bars, and when you're having your conjugals, there's a cop or a CO right there. They're not going to murder you.
You doing good?
Strangled and murdered and turned into.
Good?
Huh? Sorry.
No, they're all.
Getting this.
Are you? I'm just watching.
Nice background curtain reminds me of Ahab. Oh,
hey,
yeah.
Marcelo.
Hello. Hey, it's been a little bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, how are you?
Oh, cool.
Rednecks everywhere. You get well. I know at least that there's rednecks in Canada too.
Canada. Letterkenny. Okay, we gotta get back on this.
Thank you. God, I read this wrong just now. So in 1951, Louise met Johnny Culpepper Bundy, a hospital cook. I read that as cock earlier, and I'm like, a hospital cock. At an adult singles night at Tacoma's First Methodist Church. They married later that year, and Johnny formally adopted Ted. Johnny and Louise conceived 4 children of their own, and although Johnny tried to include his adopted son in camping trips and other family activities, Ted remained distant. He later complained to his girlfriend that Johnny wasn't his real father and wasn't very bright and didn't make much money. Bundy had different recollections of Tacoma when he spoke to biographers. When he talked to Ainsworth and Machad, he described how he roamed his neighborhood, picking through the trash barrels in search of pictures of naked women. When he spoke to Polly Nelson, he explained how he pursued detective magazines, crime novels, and true crime documentary stories that involved sexual violence, particularly when the stories were illustrated with pictures of dead or maimed bodies. In a letter to Rule, He asserted that he never, ever read fact detective magazines and shuddered at the thought that anyone would.
Bundy went back and forth.
In his conversations with Michaud, he described how he would consume large quantities of alcohol and canvass the community late at night in search of undraped windows where he could observe women undressing or whatever else could be seen. Bundy also varied the accounts of his social life. He told Michaud and Ainsworth that he chose to be alone as an adolescent because he was unable to understand interpersonal relationships. He claimed that he had no natural sense of how to develop friendships. I didn't know what made people want to be friends, he said. I didn't know what underlay social interactions. Classmates from Woodrow Wilson High told Rule, however, that Bundy was well known and well liked, and he was a medium-sized fish in a large pond. So he was at least known. Yeah, John.
Bundy was another. Bundy liked to hear
Yeah.
himself talk. He
Left Philly fucking quitters.
he made up a lot of stories, but then again, it's like the one thing about Bundy I'll say is that he did travel across the United States on one of his murder sprees, or two of them, wasn't it? Or the main one where he went across. Well, we'll get to it, but anyway, so there is a good chance he killed a lot of people that no one could find out or couldn't find out about it. Sorry, I just lost track of time.
So
I can't think right now.
Mr. ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, Carl. Thank you. University years. After graduating from high school in 1965, Bundy attended the University of Puget Sound, or UPS, for 1 year before transferring to the University of Washington to study Chinese.
What the fuck?
Hey, I took 3 years of Chinese.
It's still fucking random.
Why is it random?
For you, it's understandable. For this guy, come on.
He became romantically involved with a University of Washington classmate who is identified by several pseudonyms in Bundy biographies, but most commonly known as Stephanie Brooks. In early 1968, he dropped out of college and worked at a series of minimum wage jobs. He also volunteered at the Seattle office for Nelson Rockefeller's presidential campaign and became Arthur Fletcher's driver and bodyguard during Fletcher's campaign for lieutenant governor of Washington State.
There's I should have.
What's up, Adam?
I should have put it up here, but there's a picture of him at a campaign event.
I know. See, you dropped the ball.
I dropped the ball. But anyway, Republican. Bundy was the opposite of Gacy. Bundy was a Republican.
Well, yeah. So Gacy.
Gacy was a Democrat. Yeah.
Go for it.
No, Gacy was a Democrat and Bundy was a Republican. Did a lot of stuff for Republican campaign right here.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to keep speaking now. In August, Bundy attended the 1968 Republican National Convention in Miami as a Rockefeller delegate. Shortly thereafter, Brooks ended their relationship and returned to her family home in California, frustrated by what she described as Bundy's immaturity and lack of ambition. So psychiatrist Dorothy Lewis would later pinpoint this crisis as the probable pivotal time in his development, and that he was devastated by Brooks' rejection. Bundy then traveled to Colorado and then farther east, visiting relatives in Arkansas and Philadelphia and enrolling in a semester at Temple University. It was at this time in early 1969, Rule believes, that Bundy visited the Office of Birth Records in Burlington and confirmed his true parentage. Bundy was back in Washington by fall of 69 when he met Elizabeth Klopfer. Gosh, I thought I was going to get away from fucked up names. Identified in Bundy literature as Meg Anders, Beth Archer, or Liz Kendall. A divorcee from Ogden, Utah, who worked as a secretary at the University of Washington School of Medicine. Their stormy relationship would continue well past his initial incarceration in Utah in 76.
So real fast, yeah, no, it doesn't, John, it doesn't determine crazy, but the weird thing about it is that people like Gacy and Bundy were able to get involved.
They were so involved in it that they were actually seen as
pillars almost.
Major members,
yeah,
both of the Democratic Party and of the Republican Party within their respective areas.
That's where the whole
that's what we were talking about.
They literally had the look of, he was such a nice guy, you know.
He was so nice. I loved him. He was so helpful.
Bundy was involved with the GOP, and then Gacy. He was such a nice guy that he did all this stuff for the Democrat Party.
He helped all these children.
He was leader in his union and stuff like that. I can't believe he did this stuff.
Wow.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not mocking or anything like that. I'm just saying that's
what you always hear.
Yeah, that's what you always hear, and these two are the epitome of that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he was such a nice guy. You're fine, John. You're fine.
I'm drinking right now. I'm drinking 12% beer.
I'm drinking red apple, cherry, and pomegranate juice. So was the chick that he was with? Yes. Well, no, that was the chick that he was with when he was first arrested, which is where did I just lost her name again. The one we just mentioned, Elizabeth Okay, it's CLOEPFER.
Yeah, he was a functioning sociopath.
Barely functioning, but functioning. Well, he was actually really smart.
They all are.
Not all of them.
No, they're smart at what they do.
That's true.
I mean, you can go. We'll get into it later because he does help with the Green River Killer. But look at Gary Ridgway.
Well,
he had such a low.
Keisa.
Hey, Keisa. He had an extremely low IQ, but he knew how to fucking murder and hide bodies really well. It doesn't, just because their IQ is low doesn't mean they're not great.
Thank you for the info I will never remember. Yeah. It's okay. There were stories going around about the show Married with Children that Al Bundy got his name from Ted Bundy.
I heard the same thing.
I've heard the same thing.
Yeah.
He always said, "Have a nice day," before he let the knife slip in.
Pretty much. All right.
Well, I do that at work too.
Have a nice day. Go fuck yourself. No. Just sit. I do that with customers too.
Mute my microphone and fuck you.
Talking about the war.
Okay, honestly, if anybody from my work is watching, I'm joking.
Yeah. Including
you, boss man. Okay, so in mid-1970, Bundy, now focused and goal-oriented, re-enrolled at University of Washington, this time as a psychology major. He became an honor student and was well regarded by his professors. In 1971, he took a job in Seattle's Suicide Hotline Crisis Center, where he met and worked alongside Ann Rule. So, yeah, I'm going to stop here. This man literally saved people's lives from saved people from killing themselves.
It's like saving the snack for later.
Pretty much.
Jesus fucking Christ, man.
So, Ann Rule was the one we keep referring to, who wrote a book about him. They were actually friends, or she was his friend, and he just didn't want to kill her because she wasn't his type.
Yeah.
So she was a former Seattle police officer, by the way. An aspiring crime writer, she would later write one of the definitive Bundy biographies, The Stranger Beside Me. Rule saw nothing disturbing in Bundy's personality at the time and described him as kind and empathetic. After graduating from University of Washington in 1972, Bundy joined Governor Daniel J. Evans' re-election campaign. Posing as a college student, he shadowed Evans' opponent, former Governor Albert Rossellini, and recorded his stump speeches for analysis by Evans' team. That's some fucked up shit. That's ironic. I don't know much about Ted Bundy, so this is cool. Thank you.
Hey. Wow, I didn't know Bundy was that much
a swooning person.
Yeah. Pretty much. Well, and
Yeah.
the big misconception of sociopaths is that they're not empathetic. They are empathetic and they know how to pull people in. They know how to manipulate.
Are manipulative.
Yeah.
Sociopaths, narcissists.
Extremely fucking manipulative.
They know how to play people to get what they want.
Exactly. Bundy could get girls into his car very easily.
Mm-hmm.
Even for the 70s, he was able to do it.
And well, we'll get to that in a second, actually.
Yeah.
So Evans appointed Bundy to the Seattle Crime Prevention Advisory Committee. After Evans was reelected, Bundy was hired as an assistant to Ross Davis, chairman of the Washington State Republican Party. Davis thought well of Bundy and described him as smart, aggressive, and a believer in the system. In early 73, despite mediocre LSAT scores, Bundy was accepted into law school at University of Puget Sound and the University of Utah on the strength of letters of recommendations from Evans, Davis, and several University of Washington psychology professors. During a trip to California on Republican Party business in the summer of 73, Bundy rekindled his friendship with Brooks. She marveled at his transformation into a serious, dedicated professional who was seemingly on the cusp of a legal and political career. He continued to date Elizabeth, because I don't like saying her last name, as well. Neither woman was aware of the other woman's existence. In the fall of 73, Bundy matriculated at University of Puget Sound's law school and continued courting Brooks, who flew to Seattle several times to stay with him. They discussed marriage. At one point, he introduced her to Davis as his fiancée. In January of 74, however, he abruptly broke off all contact. Her phone calls and letters went unreturned. Finally reaching him by phone 1 month later, Brooks demanded to know why Bundy had unilaterally ended their relationship without explaining. In a flat, calm voice, he replied, "Stephanie, I have no idea what you mean," and hung up. She never heard from him again. He later explained, "I just wanted to prove to myself that I could have married her."
That's some fucking egotistical shit right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
That is literally a fucking narcissist right there.
In retrospect, Brooks concluded that he had deliberately planned the entire courtship and rejection in advance as vengeance for the initial breakup.
That's how they work. I'm doing this, and then I'm either going to end this poorly, or I'm going to end this nicely, or I'm going to fucking just destroy everything or whatnot, and if everything blows up in my face. That's how fucking narcissists are.
Just because it ends in death doesn't mean it's wrong. Tie them up, hug them. That'll drive them crazy. By then, Bundy had begun skipping classes at law school, and by April, he had stopped attending class entirely as young women began to disappear in the Pacific Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll mention something that Mikey mentioned. Actually, she's the reason he went after brunettes.
Yep.
She is the one who got away.
The one who dumped him, or the one who
dumped him, and he went back and
courted
her and said, "I just knew I could marry her."
Yeah.
She's literally the reason why he went after brunettes.
Yeah.
So Mikey pointed out Deborah Harry, also known as Blondie, was almost a victim of his. At the time, she was a bunny, and she was a brunette. And she figured out that there was something wrong. There was a crack in the window. She found a way. She couldn't, you couldn't open the door on the outside. I forget what she had said, but she noticed all these weird things, and she was able to get out of the car, get the door open, and jump out.
See,
while he was driving, by the way.
Bundy was not as smart as Kemper. Kemper took
Bundy did that too.
No, he didn't take the lipstick because the bugs are different. You actually put your hand into the door and it slides out right there.
Yeah.
Whereas Kemper on the Ford that he had, it was like a little pocket in the door and armrest, and he stuck a little lipstick container right there, and they couldn't open the door.
Bundy took off the knobs.
Yeah.
And the handles. So I mean, he was trying to do something around the same.
But
time.
it was
too obvious.
It was too obvious. You know, that's what happened here, where we still get music from Blondie.
Exactly.
So,
thankfully. So, first 2 series of murders, there was no consensus on where Bundy began killing women. He told different stories to different people and refused to divulge the specifics of his earliest crimes, even as he confessed in graphic detail to dozens of later murders in the days of preceding his execution. He told Nelson that he attempted his first kidnap in '69 in Ocean City, New Jersey, but did not kill anyone until sometime in '71 in Seattle. He told psychologist Art Norman, went totally dyslexic on that he killed 2 women in Atlantic City in '69 while visiting family in Philadelphia. He hinted but refused to elaborate to homicide detective Robert D. Keppel that he committed a murder in Seattle in '72 and another murder in '73 that involved a hitchhiker in Turnwater. Rule and Keppel both believed that he might have started killing as a teenager. Circumstantial evidence suggested that he may have had something to do with, or he may have abducted and killed an 8-year-old named Anne Marie Burr of Tacoma when he was 14 years old in 1961, an allegation that he repeatedly denied. His earliest documented homicides were committed in '74 when he was 27 years old. By then, by his own admission, he had mastered the necessary skills in the era before DNA profiling to leave minimal incriminating forensic evidence at crime scenes.
So you can, like, the one that you can get from serial killers and stuff like that, like especially like when we get into another one we're going to get into with when we get things set up with our other friend and Psychic Cindy. I'm not going to name who we're talking about. Going to actually cover because it's going to be a cool episode. But serial killers and stuff like that. Well, there. Oh, was that his house?
I was showing off Bundy's house.
Sorry, there's Bundy's house.
Between '74 and '75.
He almost got killed by the AAC unit up right there. No, but one of the things that happened, like with serial killers and stuff like that, the crimes that the ones they do out of necessity, especially when it involves like not exactly their MO, the people they go after, say like a kid and stuff like that. Like
Hi, Calliope.
Bundy did not enjoy going after kids and stuff like that, but he did it out of necessity a couple times. And those are the ones that he didn't really talk about. They just kind of had to piece them together.
So Mikey says, fucking lunatic. Okay, I had a roommate back in 2017. He's a complete sociopath. The guy could convince anybody about anything. He would abuse the suicide hotline, claiming he was a veteran and how he had problems just to find a girlfriend, and then hook up, ask his girls for money, and then screw them over.
That's fucked up.
I know somebody similar to that. I'm not going to say his name on here.
Yeah.
But you know who he is.
Oh, yeah, I know who he is.
And he would tell this sad sob story about how he had cancer. Or, that an ex gave him a VD.
Mm-hmm.
And he would try to use it against people. He told lies about how it happened. He told lies about being in remission, Yes, it's me in disguise.
Hi, odd mama.
I have to.
We have spies, people. We have people in everywhere. Every place.
Everything. Woo!
They watch everything. And sorry, I gotta.
Yeah, I know. You've totally known people like that.
Yeah.
And he's saying, yeah, exactly how this guy was. The weird part was the person that I'm thinking of when I'm saying this. He really did have those 2 issues, but they weren't as exacerbated as he made them. And then also he lied about how it happened.
Yeah.
And he would tell people that his girlfriend was cheating when in reality he was the one cheating. Like really, really crazy shit.
Sorry.
Hey, Shanra.
There we go.
You're so weird. I love you.
Because
hi, Mary Beth. Shanra's in here.
Shanra.
Winnebago, 3:00.
Shanra, we're cheating on you. I'm sorry.
I know. I'm sorry.
We kind of got busy. I forgot to invite you over, but next Friday. You need to come over and host with us.
Oh yeah, that one's gonna be a fun one.
Yes, you're gonna.
If you guys want, also, while I'm thinking about it,
We didn't put the ticker up.
Hold on.
Type. All day long. Type. When I sing this song.
Guess what, guys? We have a website.
Yeah.
And if you click on the sister side button at the top,
Good. It takes you to psychobunny.com.
takes you to psychobunnydc.com.
Yep.
So let's put this bad boy up here.
There we go.
All right. She can't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we had to change nights.
Stop taking my pictures. I'm not that good looking.
Yay! All right. Back to the story. We got to hurry to get through this. Because if not, we're actually going to do a show on Sunday night too. Because we got a lot of stuff planned.
We might still do it.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, you got the vid?
oh shit. Oh, but in the house. Okay.
Yeah, we went through that a few months ago. So
It sucked.
it did suck.
So shortly after midnight on January 4th, 1974, around the time that he terminated his relationship with Brooks, Bundy entered the basement apartment of 18-year-old Karen Sparks, identified as Joni Lenz, Mary Adams, or Terry Caldwell by various sources, a dancer and a student at University of Washington. After bludgeoning Sparks senseless with a metal rod from her bed frame, he sexually assaulted her with either the same rod or a metal speculum.
Sorry, warning, graphic, very graphic coming up right now.
I've already done the warning.
I know, just do it again.
Okay. So after he bludgeoned her senseless with a metal rod from her own bed frame, he sexually assaulted her with either the same rod or a metal speculum. Probably the same rod. I don't see him carrying a speculum around, causing extensive internal injuries. She remained unconscious for 10 days, but survived with permanent physical and mental disabilities.
Fucking hell.
In the early mornings of February 1st, Bundy broke into the basement room of Linda Ann Healy, a University of Washington undergrad, who broadcast morning radio weather reports for skiers. He beat her unconscious, dressed her in blue jeans and a white blouse and boots, and carried her away. During the first half of 74, female college students disappeared at the rate of about one per month. On March 2nd, Donna Gail Manson, a 19-year-old student at Evergreen State College in Olympia, Washington, 60 miles southwest of Seattle, left her dorm to attend a jazz concert on campus but never arrived. Rod.
Fucking Tom.
Yeah, no, Mary Beth, that's right. I would have rather died.
Fucking Tom, I'm so sorry. Hey, Chaos!
What's up,
What
Chaos?
is up? One of the unwrites is here. This is awesome.
We got two unwrites in here.
Who?
We got,
Oh, Kelly
but we also got Calliope.
and Calliope. And
If you go, hold on, let's look up here. I forgot
you're
what.
fine. You're fine.
Hold on, I forgot. Numbskull unwrite.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so during the first half, nope. I already went there.
Oh no, Tom went there.
On April 17th, Susan Elaine Rancourt, disappeared while on her way to her dorm room after an evening advisors meeting at Central Washington State College in Ellensburg, 110 miles east-southeast of Seattle. Two female Central Washington students later came forward to report encounters, one on the night of Rancourt's disappearance and the other 3 nights later. A man wearing an arm sling asking for help carrying a load of books to his brown or tan Volkswagen Beetle. On May 6th, Roberta Kathleen Parks left her dormitory at Oregon State University in Corvallis, 85 miles away or south from Portland, to have coffee with friends at the Memorial Union, but never arrived. Detectives from the King County and Seattle Police Departments grew increasingly concerned. There was no significant physical evidence, and the missing women had very little in common apart from being young, attractive, white college students with long hair parted in the middle. On June 1st, Brenda Carol Ball, 22, disappeared after leaving the Flame Tavern in Burien near Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. She was last seen in the parking lot taking a brown-haired man with his arm in a sling, or talking to taking a brown-haired man.
Taking a brown. I'm gonna take you somewhere.
Talking to a brown-haired man with his arm in a sling.
Where can I take you, good sir?
So here's his bug.
Wait, they actually have his bug still?
I want to say it was in the Peterson for a little while, but I don't think I'm right,
He
to be
actually
honest.
kept it up right. Good and nice. Look at that.
It's all like rust in the front.
Well, yeah, but that's the area where he's at, where there's snow and stuff like that. You're gonna get that.
And that only has one rearview mirror on it.
Well, yeah.
So wait. So that is before 72.
That is very much before 72.
Because I had a 73, which had both of them.
I'm gonna tell you something right now.
What?
You are married to a good-looking dude. Look at that dude right there. Yeah.
Well, that's true. I mean,
coffee makes me nervous when I drink. Mm-hmm. Nice bug. And the wheels on the bug go round and round, round and round. That song has been stuck in my head for weeks.
B-U-N-D-Y.
B-U-N-D-Y, and Bundy was his name.
It's Herbie the Love Bug.
It's Herbie the Love Bug. There's lots of love going on there.
In the early
Snuggles and
hours,
shit.
in the early hours of June 11th, a University of Washington student, George Ann Hawkins, vanished while walking down a brightly lit alley between her boyfriend's dorm residence and her sorority house. The next morning, 3 Seattle homicide detectives and a criminalist combed the entire alleyway on their hands and knees, finding nothing. After Hawkins' disappearance was publicized, witnesses came forward reporting seeing a man that night who was in the alley behind a nearby dormitory. He was on crutches with a leg in a cast and was struggling to carry a briefcase. One woman recalled that the man asked her to help carry the case to his car, a light brown Volkswagen Beetle.
I would actually laugh if it was like, hey, I got this Christmas tree. I know it's the middle of July and we're in Washington, but can you help me load this up on my bug? And you know what? That'd actually be a believable story back then. You know, like someone would actually go along with that.
I don't think so.
No, not a believable story, but I guarantee you someone probably would go along with that. Officer, I don't know why you bludgeoned me so much. I was trying to help him out with this Christmas tree on his fucking bug and shit.
So Bundy later told Keppel that he lured Hawkins to his car before rendering her unconscious with a crowbar that he had earlier placed beside the vehicle. He then handcuffed Hawkins and drove her to Isaga, where he strangled her before spending the entire night with her body. Prior to her murder, Hawkins had regained consciousness inside the car and had began talking with Bundy, who recollected she helped tutor, or that she had informed him she had a Spanish test the following day, and she thought that I had taken her to help her tutor for a Spanish test, adding, "It's not funny, but it's the odd kind of things people will say under those circumstances." Yeah.
Did you let her go?
No.
Oh.
He admitted to revisiting her corpse on 3 different occasions.
Bundy was a necrophile.
He stated that he returned to the campus alley the morning after Hawkins' abduction and gathered evidence at the crime scene. Her shoes, a shoe, her earrings, and he was totally unobserved.
Calliope, there's actually been multiple Bundy movies. There's one, did you guys ever see the show Parker Lewis Can't Lose? The guy who played Parker Lewis played Bundy.
Parker Lewis can't lose. You know why? Because he just can't lose. You know what he's
for?
So, in a fight between Parker Lewis
but okay, seriously though, Parker Lewis Can't Lose. Go look at. I can't think of the guys who played. The guy who played his name, played Parker Lewis Can't Lose, or Parker Lewis and Parker Lewis Can't Lose. Jesus fucking Christ, I can't talk tonight. He played Bundy in one of the movies. Actually, I didn't mind the movie either. It was actually pretty fucking cool. But it was also, I think it was like one of those made-for-TV movies. And when it got to one of the violent scenes, it just showed him.
Yeah, he was in love with her skeleton.
It literally just showed him like going up to the bodies before he did anything. He's all like that. It just was like was like, this kind of takes away from a lot of it.
A little bit unright.
just a bit, just a smidge.
During this period, Bundy was working in Olympia as the assistant director of the Seattle Crime Prevention Advisory Commission, where he wrote a pamphlet for women on rape prevention.
Well, he did know the subject. God, that's fucking evil what I just said. Oh my God.
You're not wrong. Later. Thank you, Calliope.
Thank you.
So later he worked at the Department of Emergency Services, a state government agency involved in the search for the missing women.
Jesus fucking Christ, man.
At the Department of Emergency, the DES, he met and dated Carol Ann Boone, a twice divorced mother of two. 6 years later would play an important role in the final phase of his life.
This is straight up a fucking Alanis Morissette
Hey, Sykes!
song. Sykes, hey! It's been a minute.
Yeah, Zac Efron played him and did a good job at it.
Oh, yeah. If you guys ever want to see something cool, go watch the Bundy tapes, too. That's actually a good documentary.
That was good. That was really good.
It has nothing to do with the killing. It has everything to do with the when he got captured in Colorado.
Yeah. So
pretty cool. Court cases and all that.
Reports of the 6 missing women and Sparks' brutal beating appeared prominently in newspapers and on television throughout Washington and Oregon. Fear spread among the population. Hitchhiking by a young woman dropped sharply. Pressure mounted on law enforcement agencies, and the paucity of physical evidence severely hampered them. Police could not provide reporters with the little information that was available for fear of compromising the investigation. Further similarities between the victims were noted. The disappearances all took place at night, usually near ongoing construction work. Within a week of midterm or final exams, all of the victims were wearing slacks or blue jeans, and most crime scenes there were sightings of a man wearing a cast or a sling and driving a brown or tan Volkswagen Beetle. The Pacific Northwest murders culminated on July 14th with the broad daylight abductions of 2 women from a crowded beach at Lake Sammamish.
Fucking Washington and their weird ass names.
Go make me a Sammamish.
Hey, I'm gonna get you my bug. When I get you out to the woods, you're gonna make me a Sammamish. I'll tell you what. Man, I'll tell you what, you're going to make me a Sammamish or I'll strangle you to death. That's probably what really happened. Like, we should also have porn made for TV. What?
Let's just read it. Scene
Plumber
1.
rings the doorbell. Scene 2. Plumber walks out of the house. Yeah, pretty much. That's what it was. The rest of the movie was fucking awesome because it was Parker Lewis as Ted Bundy. And it was like Parker Lewis actually did lose at the end of it. Like, it was
Parker
weird.
Lewis can't lose.
He can't lose, but
he can't lose.
But the rest of it was like every violent thing he did was like,
oh, come on.
Yeah.
Issaquah? Okay. So there were 2 women abducted in broad daylight at a crowded beach at Lake Sammamish State Park in Issaquah.
Yeah, that one was pretty fucking brutal. He got
Sammamish. Sammamish. With cheese. Yes.
Salamish?
Ham Sammamish.
No, I like what Keeza says. Salamish.
Salamish.
That's what I'm calling my sandwiches from now. Salamish!
Black Forest Salamish.
Scaramouche Salamish! You have been cursed! You have been cursed to be a sandwich with my dear auntie! My mom's in the living room going, what the fuck are they doing in there right now?
A suburb. 20 miles.
4-7, bitch.
I just said it out loud.
I'm sorry, I just read it. That's
You're
fucking hilarious.
really loud.
I'm so sorry. Fucking
Keep
Mikey's
in mind,
my
this
favorite.
microphone can hear everything.
I know. I just read it. It's on there for everyone to read, regardless.
God. My head, guys. My head.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so 5 female witnesses described an attractive young man. Wait a second. An attractive young man.
Okay, now go to the next one.
Fine.
Yeah.
He still has a freaking unibrow.
He is the fucking Mandalorian right there. Look at that shit. Tell me he doesn't look like the fucking Mandalorian when he takes his helmet off. Oh, you haven't gotten that far yet.
No, because you're watching it without me.
Well, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
You've been watching the Wall zombie movie.
Yeah, you didn't want to watch it with me.
I said I wanted to watch it with you because I love you so much.
You never said you wanted to watch it with me until
baby,
after.
I want to watch zombie movies with you because I love you so much and I love you. And then you're like, get over there. Don't ever fucking talk to me like that again. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry.
I totally sound like that, guys.
Yeah. Also, we have a story to tell you about our cats this morning because they got in a cat fight. Okay, I digress. I'm having ADD.
Drink your damn beer.
I've been drinking beers.
Okay, maybe stop drinking beers.
No!
I don't know. Yeah, he needed his eyebrows waxed, right?
Ta-da!
What the fuck was that?
It's my opener.
There's a church key up there.
Okay, going from here to just behind the monitor means I'm going to blow up everything. Okay, all right, we got to get through this. Sorry, guys.
Never getting through this. So, there we go. So 5 female witnesses described an attractive young man wearing a white tennis outfit with his left arm in a sling, speaking with a light accent.
Chaos, I could do all of it. I said it sounds like Corpse Grinder.
Perhaps Canadian or British.
Perhaps.
I'm sorry. I don't know why that's so funny.
Okay, okay, I'll say this right now. I know we got to get on with this, but there are some Canadians who still have the British accent.
Well,
no fucking
there's
joke.
The French Canucks.
Then there's the regular Canucks who say a boat and everything like that. And then there's the very minute population of Canadians who never set foot in England. And they, no joke, I've met a few of them. They're fucking have English accents.
You know, my family's British Canadian, right?
British Columbia Canadian?
No, British Canadian. Actually, there's Saskatchewan and Alberta.
Saskatchewan and
not Saskatoon.
Saskatoon.
Hello, ladies.
I gotta take this sweater off. I'm burning it up.
I told you.
All right. Well, I was trying to look cool.
All right. So, would you stop it? Introducing himself as Ted, he asked for their help in unloading a sailboat from his tan or bronze-colored Volkswagen Beetle. 4 refused. 1 accompanied him as far as his car, saw that there was no sailboat, and fled. 3 additional witnesses saw him approach Janice Ann Ott, 23, a probation caseworker at the King County Juvenile Court, with the sailboat story, and watched her leave the beach in his company. About 4 hours later, Denise Marie Naslin, a 19-year-old woman who was studying to become a computer programmer, left a picnic to go to the restroom and never returned. Bundy told both Stephen Mitchell and William Hagemeyer that Ott was still alive when he returned her to Naslin, and he forced one to watch as he murdered the other. But he later denied it in an interview with Lewis and on the eve of his execution.
Thank you, Calliope.
Yeah.
My mom thought it was cool, and now you think I'm cool too.
Saskatchewan Salamish.
Saskatchewan Salamish. You can say that out loud.
So, King County Police, finally armed with the detailed description of their suspect and his car, posted flyers through the Seattle area. A composite sketch was printed in regional newspapers and broadcast on local television stations. Elizabeth Cloepher.
Where?
The one, Cloepher.
Clapping.
Yeah. Anne Rule, and a DES employee and a UW psychology professor all recognized the profile, the sketch, and the car, and reported Bundy as a possible suspect. But detectives, who were receiving up to 200 tips per day, thought it unlikely that a clean-cut law student with no adult criminal record could be the perpetrator. Adult criminal record.
Tom, it's Gojira, not Godzilla. I'm sorry, I'm just going to correct you on that.
On September 6, 2 grouse hunters stumbled across the skeletal remains of Ott and Naslin at near
the odds of that?
A service road in Issaquah, 2 miles east of Lake Sammamish State Park. An extra femur and several vertebrae found at the site were later identified by Bundy as George Ann Hawkins. 6 months later, forestry students from Green River Community College discovered the skull and mandible of Healy, Rancourt, Parks, and Ball on Taylor Mountain, where Bundy frequently hiked, just east of Issaquah. Manson's remains were never recovered. In August of 1974, Bundy received a second.
We're moving on to Utah, Idaho, and what was the next one?
Colorado. And that was the house that I showed you. It was actually in Salt Lake City. This house right here.
Yeah, we've had a consistent good amount of people here tonight. This is awesome. We are never leaving Fridays.
So, in August of 74, Bundy received a second acceptance from University of Utah Law School and moved to Salt Lake City, leaving his girlfriend in Seattle. While he called her often, he dated at least a dozen other women. When he studied the first-year law school curriculum a second time, he was devastated to find that the other students had some intellectual capacity that he did not. He found the classes completely incomprehensible. It was at a great disappointment to me, he said. A new string of homicides began the following month, including 2 that would remain undiscovered until Bundy's confession, shortly before his execution. On September 2nd, he raped and strangled a still unidentified hitchhiker in Idaho, then either disposed of the remains immediately in the nearby river or returned the next day to photograph and dismember the corpse. On October 2nd, he seized a 16-year-old Nancy Wilcox in Holiday, a suburb of Salt Lake City. Her remains were buried near Capitol Reef National Park, some 200 miles south of Holiday, but were never found. On October 18th, Melissa Ann Smith, a 17-year-old daughter of the police chief of Midvale, disappeared after leaving a pizza parlor. Her nude body was found in a nearby mountainous area 9 days later. Post-mortem examination indicated that she may have remained alive for up to 7 days following her disappearance. That's brutal. On October 31st,
sorry.
Excuse me a second here.
My messages are going off, and there we go. Thank
you. Excuse me. You made me lose my spot. On October 31st, Laura Ann Aim, also 17, disappeared 25 miles south of Lehigh after leaving a cafe just after midnight. Her naked body was found by hikers 9 miles northeast to the northeast in American Fort Canyon on Thanksgiving Day. Both women had been beaten, raped, sodomized, and strangled with nylon stockings.
Christ, man.
Years later, Bundy described his post-mortem ritual with the corpses of Smith and Aim, including shampooing the hair and applying makeup.
It sounded pagan. He's a wolf, pagan, vegan. Make me a Sam Mamish while I wash.
Oh God, I hate that.
Wash?
Wash.
Yeah, I got.
You don't say it.
I don't say it.
I hate it.
But my grandmother, my grandma, both my grandmothers said it. Everyone said it. My mom says it.
In the late afternoon of November 8th, Bundy approached 18-year-old telephone operator Carol DeRanche at Fashion Place Mall in Murray, less than a mile from the Midvale restaurant where Melissa Smith was last seen. He identified himself as Officer Roseland of the Murray Police Department and told DeRanche that someone had attempted to break into her car. He asked her to accompany him to the station to file a complaint. When DeRanche pointed out to Bundy that he was driving on a road that did not lead to the police station, he immediately pulled to the shoulder and attempted to handcuff her. During the struggle, he inadvertently fastened both handcuffs to the same wrist, and DeRanche was able to open the car door and escape. Later that evening, Deborah Jean Kent, a 17-year-old student at Viewmont High School in Bountiful, 20 miles north of Murray, disappeared after leaving the theater production at the school to pick up her brother. The school's drama teacher and the student told police that a stranger had asked each of them to come out to the parking lot to identify a car. Another student later saw the same man pacing in the rear of the auditorium, and the drama teacher spotted him again shortly before the end of the play outside the auditorium. Investigators found a key that unlocked the handcuffs, removed them from Carol Durante's wrist.
Could you imagine Mr. Bean playing Ted Bundy?
Okay, we're not going there. We're not doing this.
And he's all, and then she gets both like handcuffs on one arm. She's all, I'll do it myself, and it snaps her own neck.
So,
I'm sorry, I'm so fucked up, man.
This is a victim that we're about to mention, I think. Yes, it is. Here she is. Look at that hairdo.
That is very 70s and 2018 hair right there.
Yeah.
Is that an Adam's apple?
No.
Oh.
Let's not be rude about the dead people.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So
we're gonna get people on here saying, or not people on here, but people in other places saying we're mean to the dead people now.
I know, right? Oh, we're so mean.
They're being so fucking mean to the dead people.
I love how certain people are faking that they don't know what's going on with these subjects. In November, Elizabeth Clofer, well, whatever the fuck her last name is, called King County Police a second time after reading that young women were disappearing in towns surrounding Salt Lake City. Detective Randy, oh, come on.
Fucking pizza. It's not poofy enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Detective Randy Hergesheimer of the Major Crimes Division interviewed her in detail. By then, Bundy had risen considerably on the King County hierarchy of suspicion, but the Lake Sammamish witnesses considered most reliable by detectives failed to identify him from a photo lineup. In December, Elizabeth called the Salt Lake City County Sheriff's Office and repeated her suspicions. Bundy's name was added to their list of suspects, but at that time, no credible forensic evidence linked him to the Utah crimes. In January of 1975, Bundy returned to Seattle after his final exams and spent a week with Elizabeth, who did not tell him that she had reported him to the police on 3 occasions. She made plans to visit him in Salt Lake City in August. Oh, yeah, pretty much.
Ruder Carl says, Liz, you know I love you so very much, but what Frank said about Mr. Bean was hilarious. I laughed out loud.
Can you imagine? So the woman that I showed you, her name was Karen Campbell, and she is Bundy's 14th documented murder victim and the subject of the first homicide indictment.
Gunther, Lieben, Glassing, Globen.
Give it to me, baby. Okay. I know that it's the other song, but I always think of...
Sorry, Chaos. Tom made me fucking laugh again. Looks like snap-on hair. I'm not trying to speak ill of the dead. Looks like it was snap-on hair with buttons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'll give you a reprieve. I have to go pee so bad. Keep reading. I'll be right back.
All right. So where did I leave off? Jesus Christ. In 75, Bundy shifted much of his criminal activity eastward from his base in Utah to Colorado. On January 12th, a 23-year-old registered nurse named Carolyn Eileen Campbell disappeared while walking down a well-lit hallway between the elevator and her room at the Wildwood Inn, now the Wildwood Lodge, in Snowmass Village, 400 miles southeast of Salt Lake City. Her nude body was found a month later next to a dirt road just outside the resort. She had been killed by blows to the head from a blunt instrument that left distinctive linear grooved depressions in her skull. Her body also bore deep cuts from a sharp weapon. On March 15th, 100 miles northeast of Snowmass, Vail ski instructor Julie Cunningham, age 26, disappeared while walking from her apartment to a dinner date with a friend. Bundy later told Colorado investigators that he approached her on crutches and asked her to help him carry his ski boots to the car, where he clubbed and handcuffed her, then assaulted and strangled her at a secondary site near Rifle, 90 miles west of Vail. Weeks later, he made the 6-hour drive from Salt Lake City to revisit her remains. So yeah, he was a necrophiliac, and he often visited the corpses of his victims. Das ist gut. What's up with these goddamn well-lit walkways and well-lit hallways? Do the man bun snuffle fucks who write these articles think that light protects you against violent assault? I know they're stupid, but seriously. Yeah, no, this is just information that we've gathered, and pointing out that they were well lit is just how bold he was getting. So Denise Lynn Oliverson, 25, disappeared near the Utah-Colorado border in Grand Junction. I've actually been there. On April 6th, while riding her bicycle to her parents' house. Her bike and sandals were found under a viaduct near the railroad bridge. On May 6th, Bundy lured 12-year-old Lynette Dawn Culver from Alameda Junior High School in Pocatello, Idaho, 160 miles north of Salt Lake City. He drowned and then sexually assaulted her in his hotel room before disposing of her body in a river north of Pocatello, possibly the Snake River.
Fucking Sykes. That made me laugh.
Bundy
looked like the killer version of Napoleon Dynamite. God, get in the fucking car.
In mid-May, 3 of Bundy's Washington State DES co-workers, including Carol Ann Boone, visited him in Salt Lake City and stayed for a week at his apartment. Bundy subsequently spent a week in Seattle with Elizabeth in early June, and they discussed getting married the following Christmas. Again, she had made no mention of her multiple discussions with the King County Police and Salt Lake County Sheriff's Office. Bundy disclosed neither his ongoing relationship with Boone nor a concurrent romance with a Utah law student known in various accounts as Kim Andrews or Sharon Auer. On June 28th, Susan Curtis vanished from the campus of Brigham Young, BYU, in Provo, 45 miles south of Salt Lake City. Curtis's murder became Bundy's last confession, tape recorded moments before he entered the execution chamber. The bodies of Wilcox, Kent, Cunningham, Oliverson, Culver, and Curtis were never rediscovered. In August or September of 1975, Bundy was baptized into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, although he was not an active participant in services and ignored most of the church restrictions. Yeah, like murder.
Tell me that they fucking did one of those things where they fucking baptized him after death and baptized Bundy of the Mormons.
No.
By the way,
did you just hear what I said?
No, Latter-day Saints. That's
not what I said at all.
No, I'm just saying.
But I mean, yes, I did. Stop for a second.
Sorry, I'm going off.
I said he went and got baptized, and he was not. Although he was not an active participant in services and ignored most of the church restrictions, he would later be excommunicated.
I see what you're putting down. I'm picking up what you're putting down now. Like you put it down on the ground, and I picked it right back up and was like, here we go. We're going to get on with this now.
He was excommunicated because of his kidnapping conviction in 1976. He asked his religious preferences after his arrest, and he answered Methodist, the religion of his childhood. In Washington State, investigators were still struggling to analyze the Pacific Northwest murder spree that had ended as abruptly as it began. In an effort to make sense of an overwhelming mass of data, they restored the then innovative strategy of compiling a database. They used the King County payroll computer, a huge primitive machine, by contemporary standards, but the only one available for their use. After inputting the many lists they had compiled, classmates and acquaintances of each victim, Volkswagen owners named Ted, known sexual offenders, and so on, they queried the computer for coincidences. Out of thousands of names, 26 turned up on 4 lists. One was Ted Bundy. Detectives also manually compiled a list of their 100 best suspects, and Bundy was on that list as well. He was literally at the top of the pile of suspects when word came from Utah of his arrest.
Ta-da! Oh, I hit myself in the crotch. How did I do that? Oh, that did not feel good.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Ow.
I'm just going to let you sit there for a little bit.
Oh, God. Oh, we have 15 people watching now.
You did this to yourself.
I did this in front of 15 people. Hey, my.
That's probably why we have 15 people.
Everyone else is left. Frank just hit himself in the balls.
So this is his murder
later.
kit. I love how he has like a, I think that's a first aid kit.
Is that a dildo sock in the center?
No, that's another head, like another mask, I think.
Did he have a Cindy Lou Who mask?
Oh, God.
What the fuck is that?
What?
That right there.
It looks like just material to tie people up.
Could you imagine if Ted Bundy was around now, how emo he would be?
How easy it would have been for him to get caught.
Oh, yeah, but he would definitely be fucking emo as fuck. Who does that, Frank?
Thank you.
That Frank so much.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Heroin Bob. That scene makes me cry even after I've seen that movie a million times.
Well, then Heroin Bob comes back in the sequel, and he's a spirit, and he's guiding his son.
It's still really sad.
Yeah.
I cry every time he dies, and I know he's gonna die.
It was fucked up because like it was the first time Heroin Bob did drugs.
Well, he took too many. Why would you take all of them?
No, he said take this much.
No, she didn't. She didn't.
The black metal guy from the second one.
No,
The mod was the one who gave him the pills.
Actually, no. His girlfriend said, "Here, take some of these because you have a headache." And for some reason,
It was Percodance, and he was not a
Percocet.
Percocet, sir. He was
Percodance?
Percodance.
Now you're doing the fart dance.
I'm not farting on camera. I'm sorry. I'll shit
Please
myself
don't
right
do
now.
the fart dance. God damn it!
Frank shit the podcast.
For the record, that's his fart dance. I'm not kidding. It's a thing. It's a thing in our household. So, I'm hearing my phone go off. Oh, we got to show this picture.
Oh, which one is it? The Ted Bundy Bunnicula.
This is making me laugh way too hard, so I have to show this picture. This is when he got arrested. Why did that happen?
He just moved the entire drive over to another drive. What the fuck just happened here? He looks just like, yeah, you fucking caught me.
I hate that it's all like pixelated, but whatever. It's pretty funny actually.
You know,
and the fact that people thought he was hot is just. Okay, where's my damn phone and why is it going off? Thank you.
All right.
So on August 16, 1975, Bundy was arrested by Utah Highway Patrol officer Bob Hayward in Granger, another Salt Lake City suburb. Hayward had observed Bundy cruising a residential area in the pre-dawn hours. Bundy fled the area at high speed after seeing the patrol car.
Can't really go high speed in the bug. I'm sorry.
Not really.
It's all me. They're like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude! Can you just stop? We're going to catch you. Unless it was a Baja bug, but that was
looks
not
like
Baja bug.
Ned Beatty. Yes.
Exactly. Highly holy.
That's Ned Flanders.
Why do I keep hurting myself? I just bumped my tooth.
It's a sign. All right, so the officer searched the car after he noticed that the Volkswagen's front passenger seat had been removed and placed in the rear, on the rear seats. He found a ski mask, a second mask fashioned from pantyhose, a crowbar, handcuffs, trash bags, a coil of rope, an ice pick, and other items initially assumed to be burglary tools. Bundy explained that the ski mask was for skiing. He had found the handcuffs in a dumpster, and the rest were common household items. Yeah.
What do you use this mask for, Bundy?
What are you using?
God.
What are you using pantyhose for, Bundy?
Fucking panties. What the fuck? God. Why else would I fucking have those?
However, Detective Jerry Thompson remembered a similar suspect.
Jerry Thompson.
Yes.
Goddamn.
Remembered a similar suspect and car description from November 1974 DeRanch kidnapping, which matched Bundy's name from the phone call in December of 74 made by his girlfriend. In a search of Bundy's department, police found a guide.
Christopher Michael.
You sound like you're about to sneeze.
Cruising down the street in my book with locked doors. Shocking. I'm sorry. I fucking read that to NWA. Cruising down the street in my 6-4.
In a search of Bundy's apartment, police found a guide to Colorado ski resorts with a check mark by the Wildwood Inn. The brochure that advertised the Viewmont High School play in Bountiful, where Deborah Kent had disappeared. The police did not have sufficient evidence to detain Bundy, but he was released of his own recognizance. Bundy later said that searchers missed a hidden collection of Polaroid photographs of his victims, which he destroyed after he was released. Salt Lake City police placed Bundy on 24-hour surveillance, and Thompson flew to Seattle with 2 other detectives to interview Elizabeth, whatever the fuck her last name is. She told them that the year prior to Bundy's move to Utah, she had discovered objects that she couldn't understand in her house and in Bundy's apartment. These items included crutches, a bag of plaster of Paris that he admitted to stealing from a medical supply house, and a meat cleaver that was never used for cooking. Additional objects included surgical gloves and an oriental knife in a wooden case that he kept in his glove compartment, and a sack full of women's clothing. Bundy was perpetually in debt, and she had suspected that he had stolen almost everything of significant value that he possessed. When she confronted him over the new TV and stereo, he warned her, "If you tell anyone, I'll break your fucking neck."
Of course, we're going to have a Swede pronounce a German name properly. Klaffer! And then Bundy, right before he killed his victim, he says, "Vote for Pedro." He said, "Never been skiing."
Yeah, sure, Kloffer. There's a P in there. Why is there a fucking P?
What the fuck, Carl?
Come on, Carl.
Explain yourselves.
Why?
Carl's Swedish, and he helps us out with the Germanic words. Being very serious. Carl's very Swedish.
Okay, stop. Stop reading Tom's comments.
Tom's my favorite. He's my friend.
We're going to stop reading Tom's
Tom's my friend.
comments. So, she said, great, thanks for the ADD moment. She said Bundy became very upset whenever she considered cutting her hair, which was long and parted in the middle. She would sometimes awaken in the middle of the night to find him under the bed covers with a flashlight examining her body. He kept a lug wrench taped halfway up the handle in the trunk of her car. Another Volkswagen Beetle, which he often borrowed for protection. The detectives confirmed that Bundy had not been with Kloffer on any of the nights during which the... Why is there a P?
Well, Carl knows what he's saying. He is kind of Swedish.
Kloffer!
He is kind of Swedish.
Fine, Kloffer.
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 Oh, I said it right. I think I did.
Kloffer?
Kloffer.
Nope. Okay.
Whatever.
Anyway. Thanks for the ADD moment. Again! Okay, so another Volkswagen Beetle, which he often borrowed for protection. The detectives confirmed that Bundy had not been with Kloffer on any of the nights during which the Pacific Northwest victims had vanished, nor on the day Ott or Naslund were abducted. Shortly thereafter, Kloffer was interviewed by Seattle homicide detective Kathy McChesney. It really looked like it said McCheesy. And learned of the existence of Stephanie Brooks and her brief engagement to Bundy around Christmas of 73.
Stop, Professor. We got a new person here. Isha!
Isha! How are you?
Bring her comment up.
That's one of my friends, actually.
Yay!
My mom said she remembers Bundy on the news and the manhunt. I think if she knew him personally, he would have threw her out of the car because my mom's annoying. I know the feeling.
Yeah, we might have to continue this on Sunday night.
Yeah.
We'll do this at 6 o'clock on Sunday night as soon as we get it done. McCheesy.
So, did you see it?
McCheesy. Fucking Kisa, I love you. McCheesy.
I thought it said McCheesy.
Cloth, gin, hunk, stern, plumpeter, schnock. I had to do it that way.
All right, guys. All right, guys. So we went way over.
But
that's okay. Oh, we might finish. Holy shit.
No, we have to finish this Sunday night because we have a lot planned for next week.
So Sunday we're going to do a long show probably.
We'll start at 6. 6 our time, 9 p.m. Eastern.
No. Half the time I'm not even off in time for that. 6:30?
6. We'll start at like 6.
6:30.
No, you're off at like 4:45, 5.
Yeah, that's true. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. 6.
So we're because the unranked aren't on this week, and we'll start at 6 o'clock this Sunday, and which is 9 o'clock Eastern time. Nerf.
That's my favorite. I love Pinky the Brain.
Yeah.
Nerf.
So yeah, we'll start at 6 o'clock our time, 9 o'clock Eastern time, and we'll get through this. And,
keep going.
That's it. That's pretty much it. So and yeah, because we got to get through this. We have next Friday. We have tomorrow is going to be fucking awesome. So check this out.
Hold on.
Oh, she's gonna resend your request.
The variations I just have to do this because you reminded me of this. Thank you, Kisa.
Marvin Hoonigan.
So okay.
I love Mel Brooks.
Pinky.
Sykes, yes.
Pinky, are you pondering what I'm pondering? I think so, Brain. But where are we going to find a duck and a hose at this hour? Or I think so. But where will we find an open tattoo parlor at this time of night? What? I think so, Brain. But if we didn't have ears, we'd look like weasels. Yeah, Brain, but where are we going to find rubber pants our size?
Okay.
Wait.
One more. Du hast.
There's one that I gotta find.
Zoet. Point, Zoet.
I think so, Brian, but we'll never get a monkey to use dental floss. That's not the one, but
so tomorrow night we have some fucking awesome shit going on tonight. Tomorrow night, Odd Mother, she took Wednesday off, but tomorrow night Odd Mother is on at 6:30, 9:30 Eastern. Yay! And she's gonna be covering Vampires Don't Fucking Sparkle.
Because they don't fucking sparkle.
And real vampire lore and stuff like that. Then at 8 o'clock, I'm bringing Tom out in front of, I'm putting him on
Blast.
There you go. For the good thing. Tomorrow, Tom Nally, his show premieres tomorrow night at 8 o'clock our time, 11 o'clock your guys' 11 o'clock
11
Eastern. 11 time. Yeah. And then Sunday, I guess we're going to come back and Sunday is no longer our original, our main night. Friday is our main night now.
But we still have the random show.
Yeah.
But we don't do Sundays just in general because I need a break.
Yeah, we all need a break. We do video games by ourselves and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But we will finish Ted Bundy Sunday night.
We will do it for
which
you
is
guys.
Tonight, the 13th. We'll finish Ted Bundy the 13th. We'll start at 6 o'clock our time, 9 o'clock Eastern.
Yep, and we'll keep it going for a while.
Yeah. And we'll keep it going and be done with it.
As long as I need to.
Because next week, Friday, we are covering, I can't say it in French, but we're covering...
I got it.
I'll say it in English. We're covering Madness of 2.
Folie à deux.
And I'll say it right now. I was listening
to... And you missed one. Call of the Void.
Call of the Void. So...
La Perle du Vide.
I was listening to Last Podcast on the Left. I'll say it because that's where I'm getting a lot of my stuff from right now.
Robert!
I was listening to the last LPN, last podcast on the left, and they brought this up on their brand new episode. I was like, you know what? I want to talk about too, and other psychosis disorders and stuff like that. Like,
and this is something that I actually had a little bit of.
Yeah. Which is what
I've already done research on before.
Yeah. And
we were talking about it, and I was like, fuck yeah. And this will be great.
I absolutely love Last Podcast on the Left. Marcus Parks.
Oh yeah,
and
that's not where I got the information
Kissel
from.
And Henry Zabrowski, Go check them out, man. Check out fucking Henry Zabarski and
Tu parles français? Yes, a little
and
bit.
Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell on Cartoon Network. They're fucking he's fucking amazing on here. They're absolutely funny, great podcast. Go check them out. But we are going to cover the. We're gonna do Madness of 2 and a couple of psychosis.
Carl, Liz, tu parles français?
Yeah.
And I was like, oui.
Omelette du fromage. Girl, omelette du fromage.
I just remember there was this thing that my grandma would make me watch to teach me
Tom's
French.
World, baby. Yes.
There was this thing that my grandma used to make me watch to teach French. Do you remember Muzzy?
Muzzy?
Je suis l'enjolvi.
Let's bring up
Yeah, I saw it. I said hi.
Oh, I had to say it. I had to bring it up.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Listen, Frank, juggalos, juggalettes.
Yeah.
And then, parlez-vous français?
2 fucking years in high school. That's all I saw. 2 fucking years in high school. Congratulations, you magnificent, talented, and intimidating. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
You're fucking awesome, man.
Appreciate it.
So,
and I took 3 years of Chinese, and all I really know how to say anymore is like, "Hi, how are you?"
I've lived in Southern California my whole life, and I understand it. I understand carne asada and
lengua,
and I understand
chupacabra.
Soy un diablo en la cama, which means I am the devil in bed, and yo voy into cara, which I think it means I'm gonna come in your face. That's it. That's all I know.
I'm so proud.
I know, like walking up to the old ladies in the street. Oh, tu madre es muy bueno. I'm like, well, I know that too. And was it the whole name of Brian? Well, I know that, and me explaining how I don't speak any other part of English.
Yeah. Learned a little French from Dexter's Lab.
Yes, I fucking love Dexter's Lab. So, all right.
Don't make the Mexican come out. Okay.
Monday night. Monday night. Oh, Monday night is
Thank you.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Yum.
Monday night is Doomsday. Michael. Christopher Michael.
What?
Yep. He is covering Tom Dooley and other Civil War ghost stories and stuff like that. Yep.
All right. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. We will be finishing this on Sunday. Make sure to tune in for the rest of the shows during this week.
6
and we will be back on Sunday at 6.
9 p.m. Eastern.
And I think I'll end this with 2 videos. Is that ours or hers?
That's the old one we can't play anymore.
This is hers, right?
That's Natalie's right there.
All right. Bye.
Odd Mother right here. Check her out. She's on tomorrow night. We're hosting her show and helping her out.
This is Mr. Applewhite speaking. Do not attempt to adjust your device. There is nothing wrong with it. I am here to deliver a message. Join Psycho Bunny Death Cult in our anti-censorship campaign. Free your mind. Free your head.